welcome in. I don't know. This is a tribal chief. He's got the belt over his shoulder. He is the champion of all champions. He is the professor. The athletic and the co-host of J Street Vibes. Jason
He's
Jones.
got the strap.
What's the occasion?
Just bored.
Oh, so you walk around with the title when you're bored. That's fine.
I mean, you know, when I'm chilling, I do that. I mean, it's not like I go to the store with it, you know, or.
Would you? A nice title.
It is a
very nice title.
It's a good belt. Would you are you one of the people? Will you wear that to an event?
No, I can't see myself doing that.
I'm always so fascinated by those fans who wear their championships to the arena.
So many of those belts at those events.
And the crazy thing is, those aren't cheap.
No,
that's what I'm saying. I would never take this and be like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to the live event and walk around with it. I'm just like, I mean, you see guys who they wear the belt the whole time. I'm like, nah, it's a little, if I were like a little kid, yeah, but I'm a little too old to walk around with the belt like all day. Yeah. Then, it's not like it's light either. It's like, it's not like it's 20 pounds, but still, it's kind of
this 25 pounds of gold right here, brother, that I've got wrapped around my waist. Yeah, the belt's over my shoulder,
No, remember in WWE, you don't call it the belt. What is it? It's the championship. Right. Yes, well, Vince is not running it, so maybe we can call it a belt now.
It's not a belt, pal. It's a title.
Championship. It's a title. That's right.
It's a title.
Yeah. What's your guys' favorite title? The winged or the money, the $1 million belt?
It is not the $1 million belt.
$1 million belt is cold.
Yeah.
That's pretty cold. This new one, the one Jason
I like
has
the one Jay
dope.
had. That was nice. It's probably the winged eagle though, just because like that was Hogan and Savages and Shawn Michaels, and I think that's probably why I'd pick that one.
It's the classic one, Actually, I think my favorite one might be the Edge's rated R with the spinning R in the middle.
Yeah, y'all act like the spinner belt was trash. John Cena's spinner belt was dope, and it was perfect for the time.
Yeah, I mean, everything has to fit for an era, and for that era, especially for his character at the time, it was perfect. And then, like I said,
tough to explain now.
Right, a lot of stuff to explain.
My kids would be so confused at why people's car wheels are spinning, or like they're just like, I don't understand, Dad, why.
Yo, the James in the chat, he brings it. The 90s Intercontinental Championship. That was pretty tough. The Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon.
That was nice. Yeah,
yellow one,
tough.
Yeah,
the yellow one. We had the white one,
the like violet colored one. Yeah, there's some good ones. I'm still stuck on Jason asking his kids, why is this happening? How did we not ask ourselves in the early 2000s? Like, why does that rim need to keep spinning when the car stops?
Because it was dope.
Is it spinning? Like Chris Rock bit, it's spinning. I mean, then they had the Dada shoes with the spinners on them. I mean, we really lost our minds with spinning things. We really lost our minds. People were buying chains with spinners on the chains.
And spinners.
Just walk around.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, it's like, why am I doing? Yeah.
How many of those came through Ricky's?
Oh. Them back of the source. We used to call them back of the source chain.
Hey, come on, man. Give me the address.
Ricky's 705 J Street, downtown Sacramento. It's Club Ricky's, world famous Club Ricky's.
I don't know why that cracks you.
The back of the source chains. Those things.
Oh yeah. Ricky's was good for them back of the source brothers, man. It was good for them back of the source dudes.
Remind me when I went to a club in Dallas and my homie was like, "You gonna see some stuff you ain't seen in a minute." Walked into a Nothing But a G Thing video. Rayon shirts, creased jeans, shags, and ducktails.
Dallas is different.
Yeah, he was like, "I know you're from California. It's gonna be a little different." I was like, "Man, I saw this with Dr. Dre and Snoop and DOC. Like, someone's gonna get sprayed with a 40 at some point, right?" They was like, "Leave us alone, California." I'm like, I ain't seen the rayon shirt and the creased jeans in a minute.
Bro, they brought the Shags back. They got Shags.
Bro,
the brothers got Shags.
when you hit that crease though with the starch, and you used to be able to stand them joints up. They'd have so much damn starch on them.
Yeah, and then people like me, when you want to go the extra mile with your Dickies, you put it under the mattress.
Oh, got to.
But you had to get it right, because one little crease, you'd wake up in the morning, you have a line halfway across your knee, it'd be like, oh, man, you messed the thing up, So yeah, my kids would probably think I'm crazy. Like, why are you putting your pants under the bed, Dad? We don't understand.
I lived through it and I think we're crazy.
Yeah, it was a wild.
It made sense back then.
Now it makes sense to wear leather pants.
It does. I'd get fake ones, but I definitely want some leather. I need some leather like pants.
And you gotta wear them at the BET Awards when it's 98 degrees on the red carpet. You gotta have those leather pants on.
Yeah, they just stick into your skin because you're bacon.
I don't know how to segue to Domantas Sabonis, but he ain't no back of the source center. That's for sure. He's the real deal. What I made this argument a minute ago, Jay. Domas is everything that the Sacramento Kings desperately needed, from a player to a leader to a guy to hold them accountable. He's everything that this team desperately needed.
Oh yeah, I think I know. You think about the fact that I kind of say he's the heart of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact that he came back from an injury where if he sat out, no one would look at him crazy. He's basically saying no one here has an excuse. If I'm doing this, why can't, no one has an excuse not to die for a loose ball. Like I'm watching that Warrior game last night, and Atlanta lost in part because guys weren't diving on the floor. If somebody dives and gets one of those loose balls, Atlanta wins, but they're just bending over, slapping at the ball, and then, ball, ends up and they, I think it ended up with Draymond for that three, but it's just, I really just think when you have a guy like that, just his presence on the floor holds everyone accountable before he has to say anything. The fact that he's out there with that, with his padded up hand, how can you not give it your all when he's out there doing that? And this isn't a team saying we're fighting for the number one seed. They're just trying to make the playoffs. So if he's doing this just to get in, everyone's got to be all in.
Do you we talked a little bit about their style of play, and when they win these games, it's usually like in the 120s. At least it feels that way. And when they struggle, it's a lower scoring game. I say, hey man, that's who these guys are. They're gonna win. They're gonna have to put up 120. They're still second in the league at like 118 points a game or something like that. But that's their formula to win. Do you think that is sustainable throughout a whole season?
It has to be. I mean, they can't play any other way. You just have, for them, you have to hope you have more good nights and bad nights. You hope you have more, you get just enough defense to get those wins. I mean, because if they're scoring 120, 125, they're probably in the game, but like you said, June, when like that last Memphis game, I mean, it's like, I'm like, they've got 90 points at this point. I'm like, oh yeah, this is not their game. They've got to, because if they're in the 110s, 120s, that means they're playing their style. That means they're making threes. That means that more likely than not, they're making the other team play like them. But if that game slows down, they're just not going to be a slow down team. This is who they are. And it's got to, I think it's sustainable enough to keep them above 500 and get into the postseason, definitely. But this is who they have to be. They don't have, 4 all NBA defenders they can throw out there and say, okay, now let's shut this thing down for, a 10-minute stretch. But if they can, the one area I would like to see them to get probably more is the steals. If they can get more steals and get out and transition off of that, that kind of negates if a team is shooting 48. But if you, can force 10, 12 turnovers, kind of balance out, it can help balance it out.
Didn't we have hope defensively earlier this year? Like
we did.
We there were signs. There's signs of them being good. What the hell happened to that? Giving up on that?
They're going to be up and down defensively all year. I just think it's just going to be how they are. If they can just crack the top 20, like in defensive efficiency, you just hope. That's all you can really hope for, because they're going to have nights, I think, where other teams will try to play like them and just miss a lot of shots, but they're going to have nights where the other team makes a lot of shots. And so you just got to just kind of accept that you're going to, like I said last week, you're going to have nothing like the Wizards game where the guy just gets hot and they can't cool him off. And just kind of to say, you know what, if we do enough on our end defensively and play efficient on offense, and they're not turning the ball over and things like that, it should be in most games.
I agree. I mean, and that's the biggest thing. I see sometimes when the number of turnovers, the carelessness with the basketball, that's just a little frustrating. Some of that starts with the point guard. De'Aaron Fox, he's not, I wouldn't call him like a problem with his turnovers, but I know the other night in Memphis, he had 5 turnovers. But I think Malik Monk had 4 turnovers. It feels like that also is what affects their defense, because if they're turning the ball over, and I know Katie talks about this a lot, and it's in the field of play, now that turns into a fast break, easy opportunities, and they're not good enough defensively to weather a 3-on-2 or 4-on-2 or something like that. No team really is. So it seems like they're kind of related, right? Like they can take care of the basketball, that gives them a better chance on the defensive end. I'm not.
Definitely, because now if you turn the ball over, say 17, 18 times in a game, that team that might have shot 49% is now shooting 57, 55%. So then you see the transition point spike, and then like you say, then you put them in a position that when they do get in the half court, if they're struggling, now it's really a problem. So you can't. Part of their defense has to be efficiency on offense. Keep the floor balanced, get guys back. All those little things, kind of those detailed things, the things that everyone says, Mike Brown is great about emphasizing, because they have to do those things. They just can't come through and just take wild shots. A 3 with 22 on the clock, long rebound lead, because that's just as bad as a turnover to me. A quick bad shot that leads to a break, it might as well be a turnover.
By the way, thank you to everyone who tagged us in Buddy Hield's 3 seconds into the game 3-pointer. we appreciate that, and I'll give it to Shavano. That was impressive.
That was very cool.
My man caught the ball, turned around, and shot it.
Shavano, that's my guy. Shavano Rainier Hield. I always told him, man, you got to go by Shavano. You can't go by Buddy.
He's
like, no, bro. You tried being Shavano as a kid. It wasn't fun. I'm like, that's a cool name. Yeah, that was a cool little record for Shavano.
I love that we got tagged in that like 15 times within seconds of it happening. Oh, hey, what is going on here? I couldn't even be. I was like, this is impressive.
Yeah. I didn't think, Damian and that wasn't my thought. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. It's like, to me, it's one of those cool. I call it a media guide record. Like, it's a cool record, but so what? I mean, it's like, all right, yeah, you made it. Yeah, okay.
Quickest 3 in NBA history.
Wow.
And it is fitting that he would have that, though. It is fitting that it would be him.
I wonder
I haven't seen a 3 he doesn't like.
Somebody hit one in 2 seconds.
How fantastic would that be if like ball gets tipped to De'Aaron and he just pulls the trigger? 2.5 seconds. Now you got to time them down to the milliseconds to see which one was quicker.
Man, talk about crazy records. It'd be like, then it could be like the guy with the quickest 3 under the age of 30. Because they get so ridiculous with some of these records. It's like, the fastest guy with the most receptions before the age of 27, whose birthday was not during the season. It's like, okay.
You know who's gonna break it is Wembanyama. He's just gonna tip it into the
off the jump ball. He's just gonna control taps.
Are you allowed to palm the ball in the air and shoot it if you're a center? Because that's the there's the guy who's going to score 100.
Hell yeah.
I've never seen a guy that tall who moves like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's pretty tall, but I'm like, he's 7'3", 7'4"?
Can shoot the rock and handle the rock. Man,
We're going to start treating Victor Wembanyama's 100-point games like Russell Westbrook's triple doubles. Like, yeah, Westbrook had another triple double last night. So what?
19th 100-point game of the season.
Yeah. That's right.
His 8th of the month. He didn't even get player of a week because he's done it so many times. We're just used to it. He's averaging 89 points this month.
Got to give it to somebody else, man.
But he shot 45 times, though. Anybody could do it if they shoot 45 times.
His team's only 500. Huh. What?
You gotta find some reason to nitpick at a guy. I mean, you gotta find something. I mean, I tell all my friends, my younger friends all the time. I remember how they talked about Michael Jordan back in the day. I remember when it was you'll never be Magic and Bird because you can't win.
I remember the way what's his name? William Gates' brother was talking about Michael Jordan at the beginning of Hoop Dreams. He's like, yeah, he may score 45. It may take him 43 shots to do it. I've seen him do it before. You don't get that luxury.
I mean, some of the late 80s Jordan slander, people don't even believe even happened. I mean, imagine if he had that 63-point Boston game nowadays.
Oh, man.
They'd be like, but you lost. People forget. I mean, like youngsters don't realize he lost that game.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, well, he had 63 at the Garden, and they lost. But people are like, so if that was 2023, oh God, they'd be like, he's a ball hog, he's terrible.
Well, in wrestling, like there's the story of like Mick Foley will always tell the story of Triple H in 2000, how he made Cactus Jack by his facial expression. When Triple H saw it was Cactus Jack and not Do Love, he had a reaction that sold it and immediately made Cactus Jack a threat. You know what put Jordan over? Bird. Bird's reaction that night of what he say was that God, God playing for the squad. Yeah, like that's what made that game legendary. Was Larry Bird's response to it.
What you know about that? Oh, in their time.
The stuff you retain in your memory is
that was
insane.
Come Fly With Me. Remember when there was the newspaper headline of Jordan and it winks?
Okay.
You don't know. You know about that, man. You know about that. Come Fly With Me.
Man,
I don't know. Now
somewhere around here, I've got that rare Arab Jordan book.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. With the white cover.
Yeah.
That was a Christmas gift back in the day. I still got that.
I ripped that book by accident. Like I looked through it so much, like the pages started falling out. I think my mom kept one that was unopened though.
Oh, there you
Thank God for her.
Ripping the page out, putting it on the wall for a poster.
Right.
This in from Adrian Wojnarowski. New Orleans Pelicans star Zion Williamson is expected to miss multiple weeks with a hamstring strain, sources tell ESPN. Williamson underwent an MRI today. Again, Zion Williamson expected to miss multiple weeks with a hamstring strain.
If he could ever play like 70 games in the season,
he's special, man. He is special to watch. By the way, I feel like this fits in with what you just said about Jordan. I mentioned it earlier, and we got back to the Damar Hamlin stuff and didn't dive into it. What LeBron James did over this weekend was insane. LeBron James is 38 years old, and he dropped 2 40-plus games.
And he's catching lobs. Like he's catching lobs at the squares. Like,
he is unlike any professional athlete I think we've ever seen.
We've never seen anything like this. So, of course, the Lakers are like, you know what? Let's hold on to that 2029 draft pick because there's someone in, 5th grade we're going to have to grab one of these days.
You think that's the wrong call? Should they trade these 2 picks to okay. Do you think it's the wrong call to hold on to those 2 picks for the Lakers?
I think it is. I think because this isn't the Lakers that I grew up on. These aren't Jerry Buss's Lakers. Those Lakers would be all. You got a guy playing like this, and you're getting AD back. You got to try to do something with that. I'm not saying make a dumb trade, but to treat 2 picks that are like 5 and 7 years, whatever is down the road, like, oh my God, we got to have these. I'm like, Be the Lakers. If you want a first round pick, go buy one. I mean,
well, look, be the Lakers. You got 3 Hall of Famers on your team right now that you didn't draft. Like, what's the point? Like,
yeah, I just don't understand all of a sudden where they're like, well, we've got to hold on to. And the thing about them too is that one thing they've done is find young talent. I mean, Caruso wasn't drafted. What's the kid they got now? Reeves wasn't drafted. I mean, Taylor Horton Tucker's helping, Utah. They found players. I'm like, I don't understand them acting like they're, I guess maybe they're billionaire. I don't know what it is. It's just to have LeBron play the way he's playing. He's got to do all that to beat the Charlotte Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've actually got, you got plays where Patrick Beverly is helping him facilitate. It's like, come on, y'all, do something. Yeah. Do something, Rob, Jeannie, do something. Even it'd be different if you were saying, well, they tried to make this move and they didn't. This whole we're going to stand pat and see what happens. We know what's going to happen. You're going to struggle to get into the play-in game. We know what's going to happen. So do something. So I don't think it's the right move. I think you can't have a guy playing at, and before AD got hurt, he was at MVP level. And just in terms of the numbers he was putting up, you can't have 2 guys like that and you're still below 500. That tells you the rest of your roster ain't very good. Yeah. And then, so they're not built like the Clippers, who basically built a team that says we have the Kawhi, Paul George Clippers, and then we have the Clippers when we don't have those guys. They didn't build a team to where they can still be competitive without those guys. So you got to figure something out. Like I'm watching the Warriors and going, how do they not try to get Dante DiVincenzo? Yeah. Like, how do you let, not that Lonnie Walker is a bad person or anything, but how do you not, use that accepting the try? Maybe they tried and Dante was like, "No, I'm cool." But it's a very weird situation there. I mean, this whole we're married. You just gave up like how many picks to get AD?
1,000.
Why do you care about picks so much? You gave up a pick to bring in to Westbrook. I mean,
the other thing about LeBron James, though, arguably being the greatest ball player to ever play the game, he doesn't let that get to his head. He reminds you that I'm just like you guys, because no matter how much I accomplish in life, my woman still chastised me for playing video games.
I felt so seen when I was like, oh, God, it ain't just me.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Are you playing Madden again?
So bad. I got to win. I got to get a game.
My girl would probably tell me, oh, that's the only way the Raiders can win a game. I'm like, well,
that's uncalled for.
That's what I said. And I just said, and I remind her that her Cowboys, it's December, January. We know what happens with the Cowboys.
It's that time of year.
The time of year where Shanahan blows a second half lead.
That's uncalled for.
By not running the ball when he has a lead. I can't wait for
it. Second half lead on Sunday.
Oh, that's okay. The Raiders do it. Like I said, when they got up by 10, I'm like, it's over. They're going to lose. Once they got up by 10, I said, it's over. Game over.
Just a quick question. More on Zion. He'll be reevaluated in 3 weeks. This is a Shams Woj duel right now. So we all think the LeBron video was a shoot.
I mean,
come on. That video was a work.
Come on.
That video was a work.
I'm saying I think he was really playing video games.
I'm sure he was. Mm-hmm. And then someone got the idea to film it. Oh, look, LeBron's just like us.
Yeah.
Imagine who it was. I ain't even faulting him for it. It's content creation, but still.
Yeah, because we all know that if LeBron wants, if Savannah wants to party on New Year's Eve, Savannah is going to party, and he has no choice. Like a lot of married men in that situation, he's going to put the sticks down and get dressed and go out. I thought it was funny.
Time that was. He could have been doing that at 7:00.
Yeah, that could. The best part of the video was like, come on, my birthday just passed. I just had like a 40-point game. Oh, so this is what you doing though? Like I said, I thought it was funny. It probably was a work though. I mean,
he didn't say it was bad. He just said it was a work. Okay, he's just LeBron,
like us.
LeBron, KC, and Jason Jones, all the same. I bet LeBron has a championship belt too.
Definitely. LeBron. If you win, LeBron likes you.
Triple H probably sends him like a bunch, like every year. Hey, here's a couple belts for you, pal.
Yeah, here you go.
Bloodline myself. I've been part of the bloodline. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure, LeBron has like him, Bronny, Bryce, all of them have belts and, probably with their own personalized, plates on them,
I knew when I saw Roman with Paul Heyman, he was going to go undefeated for 865 days.
Leave LeBron alone. He's trying,
I love LeBron.
Yeah. Only thing that perplexes me about LeBron is like, you know what? I can't root for the Cowboys because of Jerry Jones.
Oh.
Let me openly root for Deshaun.
That was so bad. It was like, no, King, what are you doing? That was
do not hit sin, LeBron. Do not.
You can't hit the morality clause and then tweet that.
It's about it was just bad on so many levels. It's like, Jerry's bad. Like Deshaun is getting his rhythm back from what? Come on. Jesus. I was like, this is not. Yeah. So every now and then I'd be like, LeBron, no, that's not the move.
We've got to introduce LeBron James to the box.
Yeah.
The subject of untouchables. Damar Hamlin's toy drive has topped $5 million.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Do you, Jay, before you go, do you have anything? I mean, it's been discussed and talked about all day long. Do you have anything you want to add to the Damar Hamlin situation we saw play in front of our eyes last night?
I mean, I just wish for the sake of everyone, the NFL just would have stopped the game and not had it drag out. Because I was talking to somebody I know in the league, and who works in the league a lot, and they're basically like, their theory was that the league was waiting around to see if Hamlin was going to be okay, so to speak, so they could start the game. And then they heard the backlash and said, no, I guess we can't play because the teams refused to play. And to me, it's just like, it's like everyone's tortured relationship with the NFL.
Yeah.
It's like you love the NFL, and then just when you're like, oh, the NFL is so great, they do something like that, and you go, oh, man, really? Was it really a discussion? Like, and then they're like, well, we don't know why Joe Buck said that. Oh, because someone told Joe Buck that. I don't think he made that up, that they were going to, and what he said kind of coincides with other people reporting about the team being told, why the guys went to the locker room. But I mean, it's clearly they not playing the game was the right thing. No one cared about the game. I know I didn't, and just, you pray for, Damar that he gets better. And hell, the NFL, what somebody put, they made it through how many pandemic seasons, basically. They'll figure it's not that big of a deal, that you had to stop the game. I just think it's just, like I said, it was just wild because, I mean, I've seen that type of play a million times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I think the other thing I thought about too was a lot of people have never been on the sideline of an NFL game.
Mm-hmm.
They have no idea how big and how fast these guys are moving. I mean, it is scary.
Yeah.
I mean, these are not little guys moving, and I just think it just reminded me just how violent and dangerous football really is. Because I mean, what is T. Higgins, like 6'3" probably? I mean, that's a big, he's a wide receiver. It's still a big human being. Even the smallest of football players are pretty big human beings.
Yeah.
Always appreciate your perspective, Jay. Thank you. We'll be locked into J Street Vibes as well. Thanks, champ.
All right.
Talk to you, man.